Good morning, babies, and welcome to Simply Stacy, where the joy of the Lord is our strength. Well, today is Friday. I love talking about relationship tips on Friday because so many people want to be in relationships. They want a significant other. They want to be married. Some people, their whole mind, their whole week is engulfed with, Lord, when are you going to send my husband? When are you going to send my wife? I want a boo. There's so many men, just like women, crying out for mates. But I want to tell you, babies, you need to become what you want. So many of you ain't even ready to be in a committed relationship. You don't even know what a committed relationship is. Do you even know what a covenant relationship is? According to God, a lot of you are used to operating in relationships from the way the world have trained us to operate in relationships. But God's way of operating in relationships is totally opposite of the world. Do you even know the difference? It behooves you to learn the difference. So many people are out here getting advice from so many people, different ministries, different books. Everybody got something to say on this topic, but a lot of people have not truly done it God's way. So they cannot really tell you how to do it God's way. A lot of these people didn't do it God's way and keep themselves and wait on God and get that covenant relationship with somebody. Most people are selfish. That's why so many relationships are breaking up and ending in divorce. They ain't even in a good covenant relationship with the God they say they serve. They ain't even submitted to God. Ladies, if a man is not submitted to God and committing his life to God, his ways and everything to God, he's not going to be able to be an effective, godly leader for you. Men, if a woman is not submitted to God, doing his will and keeping his ways, there's no way that us as a woman will be able to submit to you as our husband. We're not. We're not. Two, you cannot get in relationship with somebody that's not even serving the same God you serve. They're not saved. They don't even want your God. God is supposed to be first in your life, even when you get married. So how you going to go with somebody, be in a relationship with them, when they're not even putting your God the head of their life? You already know it's going to be a battle. So number one, they got to serve the same God you serve. Otherwise, you're fighting a losing battle. They don't even want your God. Two, are they in a relationship? Are they married? If they're married, you ain't supposed to be messing around with married people. You're committing adultery. That is not of God. It is not of God. He's already dating somebody. How would you feel if you were seeing somebody and somebody else came along and was dating your boo at the same time? How would you feel? How would you feel the person that you're talking with and you think you're building a relationship with, they're talking to other people, building relationships with them? That's deception. That's a lie. That's confusion. God is not the author and finisher of confusion. When people are already in relationships with other people, what is that going to bring? Confusion. If you're over here waiting on God and you're not entertaining anybody else, and somebody come in your life, you're free to communicate with that person. But if you're in relationship with somebody else and if you're married, you are not available to be entertaining a relationship with somebody. Babies, you have to go down and do the rules of elimination in your life when it comes to getting these mates in your life. So many of you is just going with your emotions, going with the lust of your eyes and the lust of your flesh, selecting these mates in your life. You're going from relationship to relationship, which it ain't nothing but lust. You're having sex with each person that you're going in here talking about they're going to be your husband, they're going to be your wife. That is not of God. As soon as you go have sex with somebody, you're inviting the enemy into your relationship right there. It's not of God. Then you wonder why you don't open your heart up to these people. You don't let them in your spirit. Then you wonder why you're broken. You're upset, you're angry, you're mad, crying out to God to heal you and help you. And then as soon as another joker come along that's pleasing to your eyes and pleasing to your flesh, you're ready to give yourself to them or try a relationship with them. No. Be still and know that he's God. Make your body a living sacrifice unto God. Be still. Wait on God. Learn what God expects of you as a man and a woman of God. Are you a godly woman? Are you a godly man? Have you got prepared to be a wife? Are you prepared to be a husband? The leader of your family. Are you prepared? Do you want to do it God's way? What do you want out of a relationship? What does God expect you to do in a relationship? Are you selfish? Is everything about you? Are you self-serving? Because when you get in a relationship with somebody, you got to be willing to serve. See, people don't want to hear that. Yes, you got to serve. Make that other person happy. Please them. So many people are not ready for marriage. What you're ready for and what you want is your flesh to be fed. That's what you're crying out for. When you're crying out for this boo and this mate, you're crying out for your flesh to be fed. Because that lust was awakened in you before time. You've been used to having sex. You've been used to having somebody in your life. You got insecurities. You got fears. And then all of that is built up in you, putting you on the hunt and the chase to pull somebody in your space because you don't want to be alone, because your body got sexual needs. And it's something when you're used to feeding your flesh to go and make that flesh lay down. You got to fast, you got to pray, you got to seek God. You got to shun sin. He said, how you resist the devil as you flee. You're not fleeing when you're going on your computer looking at porno sites. You're not fleeing when you're looking at movies with naked people that are having sex and stuff. You're not fleeing sin. All that is eliciting your flesh, which is causing you to have that desire to want to go out here and do lustful things. The music that you're listening to is eliciting your flesh. The words that are being sang in these songs that you're listening at is eliciting your flesh. You got to get the mind of Christ. You got to get your mind renewed when it comes to this area of relationships if you want a godly covenant relationship. You can't do the things of the world, do ungodly things, and think you're going to get a godly result. Think you're going to get a godly relationship. It's not going to work like that, babies. I'm here to tell you it's not going to work like that. You cannot be ungodly and do ungodly practices and get godly results. It's just not going to happen. I don't care what nobody tells you. It's not going to happen. People may be out here showing you and faking it and act like everything hunky-dory. It's not. Behind closed doors, these people are going through hell because they don't let a demonic spirit come up in their life. They was deceived by the enemy. You know, most people are so ready for relationships, and in the beginning, you're in that honeymoon stage, as they say. Oh, they look good to you. You're excited. Or it's a new, fresh person that's fresh. You're just glad to be with them and be in their presence and all those different types of things. But when the real work begins, this is when people run. And some people already they done met them. Oh, you're my spouse. You're my husband. You're what God sent me. You're the wife that God sent me. I know you're the one. Then you hurry up and get married in a matter of months. And then the work comes. Most people is not prepared for the work in a marriage. You haven't even did the work on yourself. Are you willing to be patient? Are you willing to be kind? Are you willing to be gentle? Are you willing to be long-suffering with this person, even when they do things that you don't like, that may get on your nerves because you're not walking in that love? Because when you get married, you got to walk in love 24/7, which you should already be doing as a single individual, but most people aren't. So when they get married, that marriage is nothing but a mirror held up in your face that's going to expose all your weaknesses and insecurities. Most of you are not ready to see that mirror in your face. So when that mirror gets up there and start mirroring that reflection of you, you're going to be ready to run to somebody else that don't know you, that's going to give you all the praise and glory in the beginning because they just met you, so they don't know all the inner workings of you. They don't know that you're broken. They don't know that you're a little crazy, that you're a little psycho, that you're a little obsessive. All different little things about you they don't know yet. That the other person that had been with you for a while, see, the truth was revealed to them because they've been with you for a while. Babies, you got to be willing to do the work in these relationships because it is work. Relationships is work. You don't even want to do the work on yourself. You don't want to do self-work. You don't want to do the work. So when it comes to getting in a marriage and getting a relationship with somebody else, you're sure enough not going to do the work. Babies, do the self-work. Do the work. Allow God to work on your inner self. Deal with your emotions. Deal with your attitudes. Deal with yourself. Because the more mature you are in the Spirit of God, the more successful your marriage will be when you get with that one that God has for you. That's all God doing. He's not punishing you because you're waiting a long time. He's not punishing you. It's actually a blessing in disguise. It's only seen like you're punished because your flesh wants what it wants. It wants to be fed. Flesh always wants to be fed. It's just like that hunger for food and you want to be fed. That's how your flesh is. It wants what it wants when it wants it. It's selfish. That's why the flesh and the spirit is always warring against each other. See, the flesh is at peace and content. It's not going to be anxious for nothing. But your flesh, it's going to be anxious for stuff. That's why God said, be anxious for nothing. Don't be anxious. So many of you are anxious. So ready to get this boo. Ready to say, God got a boo for you. He got somebody for you. And he wants you to be successful in your relationship. But you got to allow him to do the work on you. See, the sooner you allow him to do the work on you, the sooner your mate will come. But if you don't let him do the work on you and you go on out there and make it happen, then you're going to go through hell and be right back in this situation. Got to go through this same thing again. Because you got to learn. You got to learn why you need to wait on God. He's not just doing it to punish you. He wants to spare you from heartache and pain. Babies, have a wonderful day. God loves you and so do I. Smooches.